Just give
I'll
her.
let you know when we go live because it's never exactly a science.
She just texted me the other day. Let me see if I find her text.
Are you recording on Zoom too?
All right, Mark, we are live, brother.
What's up, brother?
We're live.
We're gonna have a great episode tonight. We have two superstars on the show with us tonight. We're waiting for one of them to waiting for one of our superstars to check in. But in the meantime, what's up, everybody?
Wait a minute, I think she just arrived, Mark.
All right, good. Let her in, man.
See,
let her in.
I just let her in. There's her name.
Sandy Rubino.
She's connecting to audio.
I see her there, or Sandy Rubino.
Can you see her? You see her name. I don't see her face.
Give her a second.
Oh, I gotta play.
Yes,
There she goes.
Sandy.
That's much better, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
We should be intimidated. We got two Latinas.
Oh God.
Great. Well, two Latinas and a Latino.
And a cabron.
Well, here we are, man. We're doing it. Sandra, you're back. You ran away.
All right, I got you. Hold up.
Come
All
on.
right.
There you go.
Yeah, remember it's upstate New York. You know that they don't. They have like
Let's give the proper introduction over here. Everybody, quiet down for a second. You ready? Here we go. We're gonna give the proper introduction. Welcome to another episode of Police Off the Cuff. I am your host. My name is Mark DeMeo. I'm with my co-host, my partner in all things law enforcement, the very handsome Bill Cannon. What's up, Bill?
Yo, great to have these two Latinas here. I hope
we have two superstars here tonight. Superstars.
Hope they don't tag team us.
They are basically, if you ever watch the show Cagney and Lacey, they are the Cagney and Lacey of the NYPD. We have Irma Rivera and Sandy Rubino, folks. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Up?
By the way, I gotta say one thing. That was Cagney and Carmen. That was me and Pat Schiller. So
okay.
Remember?
Sandy, did you see the poster I made, the flyer for this?
Yes, I did. I loved it.
I told Irma that I got your pictures off of Pornhub.
Wish I made that money, man.
It looked like that.
You can make it down the nursing homes. It's fun.
You got to start what is that? OnlyFans. What is it? OnlyFans? Yeah, you got to start an OnlyFans for all the guys that are into female.
Yeah, right. A senior fan club. What is it?
Whatever, man. You make money.
She was with them.
Listen, I don't even know if you have to see the people that are following you. You know, they just give you money to see your stuff. So,
man, that would be good.
If we have any retirees, male or female, that would like me to start my own fans only, they want to see me without my shirt on. I can send you pictures of my feet as well. I want
to see Bill because he's all calling up.
No, there's a financial dominatrix. That's the
Bill got dressed up for you tonight. Normally he's got like a t-shirt on. Today he's got a sweater.
Wear my Manhattan Homicide t-shirt.
He dressed up for us.
Yeah, he looks good, man.
I love Irma's glasses.
Yeah, you look hot.
Purple glasses. She was just in the library working as a librarian.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Back to special
always have so much fun. See, I hung out with Sandy when we used to drink, right? I used to drink before I stopped drinking, Sandy, so I'm so boring now.
I know, right? I went out with my grandchildren, my daughter and husband, right? I started drinking. My grandchildren were on the floor laughing. They said, Mima, you don't shut up.
We had so much fun in sex crimes.
Why don't you guys tell us some special victim stories, you know?
So wait a minute. So both of you worked in sex crimes, right?
Right.
I was the first.
Okay, but that's the TV show that we see that everybody get. I was on SVU. Yes, but I was on the show. You don't remember me?
I remember.
Wait, were you the cop? A cop in uniform?
No,
I was George, the evidence clerk.
Okay.
You were in Special Victims. You should have seen me. I was working down there.
I didn't watch the show until recently. Then my granddaughter watches it every day.
So basically, this is it. This is the real deal. This is Law and Order SVU right here. We have two female detectives that worked in Special Victims, man. Tell us about it.
It was great. I loved it. Irma was my training officer, you could say. She was a hard behind, She was good. She was funny. I mean, there wasn't a case she could not crack where she left. She broke my heart. She went to Manhattan South Homicide. You broke my heart. You have no, I still get the clemps when I think about it.
But I'll tell you, when Sandy first came into the unit, I remember like she used to sit at my desk, and that's when the word processors first came out, and no one knew how to use them. And I am the worst with paperwork. So I learned how to use this word processor, and everybody wants me to teach them how to use it. And I said, no, if I learn how to use it, learn how to use it on your own. So Sandy would sit at my desk all the time and use it. Then one day I came in, the minute I came in a bad mood, I go, get your fucking shit off my desk. I threw everything on the floor.
What do you mean one day you came in a bad mood?
No, well, yeah. So, yeah.
But,
yeah, that's true.
But we had fun, and Sandy was great. I mean, remember the day we were chasing that guy in the street, we had him in a headlock, and you had your short skirt on?
We're going to talk about that. That's the case we're going to talk about.
Talk about that. Go ahead.
But I'm going to go first because mine's
I have nothing to say. Let's hear you.
Okay, Bill, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Mark?
I'm ready.
I'm ready, man.
Okay, cool. All right, Irma, whose case was it, Irma?
I think yours.
Whatever. I was going to make a follow-up call to, follow-up visit to close the case. And of course, it was a child abuse case. That's all Irma and I did. Plus, they threw in a couple of adult, sexual assault cases when they were short. So this was a child abuse case follow-up. I'm going to close the case. She came out with me. We were going to have lunch afterwards. And we went into Washington Heights off of Broadway. They had gorgeous, big, Gothic buildings with the front entrance. You go up the stairs. You go in on the step. You have to open that heavy door. It's metal and it's glass. Opened it up. Went in a couple of steps. Went up a couple of steps. Got into the lobby. 1, 2, 3, 4. We stopped. Irma and I stopped. And I was thinking, am I seeing what I see? And in my mind, I'm going, like I said before, like a matrix. Let me get this. Let me do this. Let me do this. And I said, uh-oh, I'm with Irma. I know what she's going to do. This because what I was thinking about is I was going to call her and like, Miss So-and-so, I'm going to go upstairs. Can you get my paperwork and I'll meet you upstairs? And then I was going to call her. And then she was going to stand on site. And I was going to stand on the step because there was nowhere out. And then she was going to call for backup. And then I was going to come down slowly. And but no, what did Irma do? Hey, you can't do that. I went, oh, God. like inside me, I went like Scooby-Doo.
What were they doing?
I went, son of a bee, man. Now I got to throw down. I got my freaking cute skirt, my top, my long leather jacket, my cute pumps. And I said, this freaking bee. Oh. And the perp.
What were they doing?
I saw him do a hand to hand.
Time out. What were they doing in the?
I think it was one.
I'm gonna come to that.
Okay.
He was doing a hand to hand. He was selling drugs. Glassing envelope. I'm gonna say it's cocaine. I never did narcotics, but I'm gonna say it's cocaine.
But he was sending it out of the mailbox.
To him.
What happened? It was coming out of the mailbox. That's what happened. You might have.
But he had some on him.
Yeah, a lot on him.
No, yeah, and then the guy that he was doing the thing with split. So now we're stuck with this 6'2", 250-pound baby Huey. This SOB was 15, 16 years old. And here you have Irma. Irma works out. Me, I got 3 kids, a home I got to take care of. Not so much. And so then we're tussling with him. This bastard has arms like this. We're trying to get his hand, and he's like going around like this with his arms. Like, what the hell is this? He's going, these 2 women. So Irma's trying to grab his arm. I got to get his other arm. I see that he drops the drugs. And I'm keeping my eye on it. Irma has him, and Irma had a bad shoulder at that time. So he got out of his shirt.
It was my neck. It was my neck.
Oh, your neck? Okay. I think he got out of his shirt. And he went down the stairs, and I looked at the drugs. Irma went after him, and I said, 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grabbed it, put it in my pocket, and I ran after Irma. Irma ran after him. I'm going. Irma's going. I don't know who called the transmission in. 1013. I don't know if it was me or you. I'm going.
Get locked.
Oh my God, I was in my 40s. Gee, with 3 kids, get out of here. And then we go down to I think in Broadway, he made a left, and that's when patrol cut him off.
No, we had him. We had him.
We got him. You got him.
Yeah, I had him in a headlock and patrol shows up and I'm fighting with him.
All right, cool. You see, I forget. And then you turned to me and said, you got the drugs? I go, yes.
You know what happened? I used to work with some of these girls like Sandy, like they used to wear skirts to work, you know? They used to wear like skirts, you know? And like Lisa, some of them used to carry handbags and stuff. Like I'm a tomboy, I grew up with boys, so I don't carry really pocketbooks, you know? Some of the girls on patrol, like the detectives, right? Sandy, they would wear short skirts, heels, you know?
Yeah,
and you can't run like that on the street.
I ran really well. I mean, the heel gave me that little lift. I was fine. I was good. I said, oh, wow.
My joke with Sandy was that Sandy lifted up her skirt and she freaking went running behind me. You know, but it was fun. We had a lot of, we did a lot of good cases in sex crimes. I mean, that was not even a
no, give your intake on what happened, because I gave my intake. Let me see what you have to say, your point of view.
It's the same thing on that case. I mean, I don't remember much of it. All I remember was we walked into the building. I know the guy had a lot of drugs in the mailbox, and that's what I saw. You know, they knew we were cops. Like, you know, see,
so they thought we were social workers.
Yeah, it was a lot of times you think that. No, but you know, something they know. You know, something. When you're a cop, you're a cop, and I just can't. I'm not gonna go upstairs on somebody's apartment. I mean, the kid is 16 years old. He knows that we're cops. I mean, come on, we had a radio. He has to know that we're cops, and I'm not gonna let him disrespect me. That's just the way I was as a cop, you know?
Definitely.
And I got him punched in my face, trust me, scratched.
Irma, these days you could be a violence interrupter, a social worker.
No, now I don't get angry that much anymore, you know, but I mean, but when I was first a cop in the beginning, of course, I had so many CCRBs, but then after a while, you learn how to just deal with people, you know, but
yeah. Did we recover the drugs from the mailbox? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Tell us about a sex crime case you guys worked together.
How about Shaken Baby case? I mean, that was like when the first one. I mean.
All right, so tell our audience what a Shaken Baby case is. Some of them don't know.
No, tell about the one that you had the oven, the one that the baby put in the oven, the woman that put the baby in the oven.
I can't even remember that. I had so many cases. Tell us, Sandy. Come on.
Oh my gosh! What? I don't know if you were there for this one. I'm gonna try to make it short.
Was it?
It was a man.
Yeah. I'm only joking. When you're in sex crimes, you have a kind of like a really bad.
You do. You have a warped sense of humor. Nothing bothers you. Somebody could insult you, and you're like, okay, and who cares, right?
Mechanism.
I remember a case. I'm gonna make it short. A man got a divorce. His little girl was 4 years old. He got visitation. He lived in East Harlem, and the mother lived in Long Island. The mother, the little girl disclosed to her friend that she was having sex with her father. She was 17, and she thought it was normal. The little girl was just taken aback, and she went to the guidance counselor. Then they brought her to our office. The mother was, I don't know, I think she was in denial, or maybe she didn't want to be bothered. So then the mom says to me, she's not going to talk to you. She doesn't want to say anything about it. I mean, usually everybody talks to me, so we'll see. Well, the mom was right. She was like a selective mute. She talked when she wanted to talk, and she didn't want to talk at this time. She came back, and I got her to answer yes and no, would nod and shake her head to certain questions. That's a start. CPS gets involved. I love CPS, right? We used to have a great time with the CPS workers. They were really great. I love them.
What is CPS?
Child Protective Services. We have to work with one when we get a child abuse case. Yeah, it was really great. But then this CPS called the husband and says, well, the police are going to be looking for you to lock you up. Within 24 hours, that mother freaker packed up and went. And from what I found out, he went to Florida. This is how I found out. I did a license check for about 3 months, once a week, put the DD5, the reported what I did on the case. And I'm sitting there waiting for it to come up. Nothing's going to come up, I'm sure. All of a sudden, got a hit. The mother freaker lives in Orlando, Florida. I'm going, oh my God, inside me. Oh, I got it. So me and Sean Franklin take a plane and we go to Florida.
Was that the special victim's personal plane you took?
Yeah, right.
Was that the Detective Burroughs plane?
Yes. Yes, paid by the department.
You
Absolutely.
flew out of Teterboro, right? The private.
No. Where did we go? No, at
Sean?
LaGuardia.
By the way,
LaGuardia.
How is
No,
Sean doing? How is Sean doing?
Sean passed away.
He did, right? Yeah, I thought so.
He did. He did a while ago. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I liked him. So sad.
Yeah, I loved him. He was great. He was good. So we hooked up with the Orlando PD, and we talked to them. They're very nice guys, sweethearts. And then knock on the door. Patrol is there in front of us, and knock on the door. When he opens the door, they just check inside to make sure there's nothing there, and they step aside. And I say, "Hi, my name is Detective So and So from Special Victims. We need to talk to you." He looked at us. It looks like he held his breath. All of a sudden, he went, "Whatever my daughter said, I did, I did." So again, I'm going inside of me, but I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about this. Just get your stuff, your personal information. We'll go to the precinct. Cops went in with him. I looked at Sean, and we're going, and I go, oh, okay, we're not there yet. So we go, we take him to the station. They have a beautiful precinct, these cops in Orlando, beautiful. They have a video. They hooked that shit up for me. Sat down, a recorder. Oh, and damn, okay.
What year was this?
Recording.
Sandy, what year was this?
90 something.
Oh my gosh. In the 90s. The mid-90s, I think.
Probably early 90s, because I was
Yeah.
like in 87 to like 90, 98. Because was Billy
I
born?
don't think you were there.
Was my
No,
son?
you were there, but you didn't go with me. Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I wasn't
I took the
born yet.
muscle.
No, I left Special Victims in 97.
Yeah. Could be in the late 90s, in the mid to late 90s. Now, Sean Franklin, we talk about Sean Franklin. He's like 6'7", 240. That guy is skinny, built, tattooed from head to toe. All I have to say, you under us, okay. With him by my side, no problem, no worries. Don't,
I never saw him from head to toe, Sandy.
Huh? What? No, what'd you say?
I said I never saw him from head to toes. So you know what kind of tattoos he has.
Anyway. You're so bad. I love Sean. He was a great guy, funny sense of humor, very kind. And then the guy gave it all up. The father said that he started molesting her when he first got her, and then he started having sex with her and she was 7. And I said, but why all these years? Why? Because she looks like her mother.
They always say that. So gross.
God.
That's one
The
thing
little girl had to be admitted to a psychiatric hospital because she went off the deep end. And he got 10 years because the little girl didn't testify against him. So they got 10 years. He got 10 years, and that was it.
Yeah,
what about you, Irma?
One thing about Special Victims, that the hardest part in Special Victims to me was just like those cases. Like I never, ever, as a kid, was exposed to that kind of stuff. So I wasn't familiar with it. Like, some kids are exposed to that as they're growing up. I mean, I've met cops who've told me stories and stuff, things that happened to them when they were kids. But, but I was never exposed to that. So the first time I went to Special Victims, which I said before, when I saw pictures like of a little girl giving a man a BJ, I couldn't get that shit image out.
Oh my gosh.
It bothered me for so long. And then we had a lot of cases one time, I don't know whose case it was, where the father was videotaping in the middle of porn tapes while he was molesting his daughters.
Oh no, yeah.
We had to look through so many porno tapes in the office. We had to go through. I hate porno for that reason, because I've seen so much of it, especially in sex crimes.
Yeah. So how did we get that photo of you then for the flyer?
that was an Irma. That was Amory. Remember Amory?
What about that case? You had the famous head and nussbound case.
Yeah, but that we talked about before. And
you did before? Yeah.
No, there was other cases. Like I remember I had a case one time. It involved a teacher, and I'm not sure if I told this story before, but this guy was the kid's teacher, and the little boy, I remember he had red hair. He was so cute and so innocent. And his teacher, his math tutor, was molesting him. When you see the guy, he looks like a total perv, there's certain looks sometimes you can tell when the guy's a child, likes little kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. Isn't that something? I go out in the street or look at people, I say, that guy is nasty.
Yeah, you can tell when you have little kids with you too, you could tell, But I remember
how could you tell? How could you tell?
Something about them, especially
their mannerism, their eyes, the way they lick their lips. You could tell that they're into porn. They whack off, and like they're like little kids for some reason. It's just there. You could tell.
No, and pedophiles, like sometimes, like I don't know, me maybe because I've been around them so much, I just can get that feeling. You know what I mean? Like certain people, you just get that feeling with.
You get that intuition and gut feeling. That's all there is.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I used to investigate robberies. So whenever I walk into a place or I see somebody, a group of kids, I could tell if they're good kids or if they're looking to rob somebody. I just could tell in 1 second.
Oh, yeah, you could tell.
So I guess that's the way you can tell just from investigating those cases so often, that you can tell when you're around the pedophile or around
That's
the
right.
Even like a teacher, not all teachers are pedophiles, you know, like now, like a lot of priests, there's a lot of priests that are pedophiles. I mean, I'm doing the CVA cases now, so many Boy Scouts, but not every priest is a pedophile, not every teacher is a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the reverse. There's female teachers who have sex with the young boys. You know?
That's right. I had a contractor that
you know,
came
guys,
to my house.
that used to be very uncommon. Female on male, you know, female being the pedophile. But now it seems like it's happening more and more often.
Yeah, it's being more exposed. That's why it's happening.
That's probably what it is.
And also the kids, a lot of times the boys don't tell. The boys don't tell. A girl that might like the boy is the one that usually tells on what's happening with the teacher.
Right.
So
exactly.
I see in the cases I'm working now.
You're
That's
getting
right.
a lot of female molesting young boys.
I've had cases, yeah. I've done cases for lawyers, yeah, especially school teacher. One, you know, I mean, they were in the paper. I can't, you know, I signed confidentiality agreements. I can't tell you, but there's stories in the paper, you know, and it happened, and they took a plea and everything.
You know, one time when I was a patrol sergeant, we had a case like Sandy was describing. A girl was 16 years old, and she had been molested or, you know, raped actually by her uncle, who lived in the same household since she was 13 years old. And she just had got a boyfriend, and she told her boyfriend, and her boyfriend made her tell her mother and then tell the police. You know, the parents turned against her.
Yeah, it happens.
Like, why couldn't we like keep this in house? Almost that type of thing.
I know why that happens a lot of times too. A lot of times in so many cases, they got Sandy where the mother will kick the kid out and keep
yeah. That's crazy, right?
To keep the boyfriend, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's paying the bills.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, sex crimes was a really hard place to work. I think it was like one of the hardest places for me to work.
It is.
Because I mean, you always think, you know, when you become a cop, you always think you're gonna like solve some things. So you're gonna go into sex crime, you're gonna stop sex crimes, and never, it's always the same. And one thing I keep saying lately, and I have friends who used to work in ACS, and I tell them, I go, imagine how many kids are being abused right now. School's closed, they're not going to school. I mean, in schools, when all this stuff is found out that the kid is being molested, you know how many kids are being molested now since March when schools are closed, and they're home 24 hours of their abusers, some of these kids. So
like they have no escape from it. There's no escape.
I think about that all the time, because I just know there's kids out there being abused. Sandy had a case, the case you had on that Thanksgiving, the little girl, Izquierdo, was that her name?
Oh my gosh, what was it about?
That's when
you know, I just block a lot of stuff out.
That's the little girl that the guy came to fix the window, and he saw her in the room, and her little brother walked by her and hit her in the head. It was a big case. It was a news media case. The mother hated her, and it was your case, as a matter of fact.
Oh my God, I forgot.
You remember that case? I think it was Lisa Izquierdo, was it? No, not Lisa Izquierdo. I'm sorry, that wasn't her name. It might have been. It was a girl. It was a big news case. It was a little girl. She was being abused. A Con Edison worker came in, and I believe. Yeah.
This girl, the mother got her back from the foster mother. Foster mother was a beautiful woman. Happened in Washington Heights. She got the kid back because the boyfriend, who became the husband, wanted the check, because she had a couple of other children by him. This girl, when the Con Edison worker didn't report it until 24 hours later, remember?
I think it was the 7th precinct, I think.
Was it? I don't even remember. Everything just blends in together. And the foster mother must have lived uptown then.
Right.
Okay, so when the patrol went in there, they got the kid. They were feeding the kid because I think they got a heads up. And I mean, the little girl, how old was she? 6 years old. She weighed like 30 pounds, and she had scars all over her. She tried to run away. The stepfather put a foot in hot water, scarred her foot up. The mother would pull her hair. She was practically bald. And she was making chewing sounds like an old person would, because something, to make saliva, I guess.
You know what those kids do? Some of those kids who are abused like that, they don't get food. You know what they do? They keep food inside their upper lip and they hold on to it so they can eat it later on. And that happens on some of the cases that we worked on in child abuse.
So what happened with her was Patrol brought her to the hospital. Patrol was going to make an arrest really fast. I said, how can you make an arrest? She didn't make a disclosure. Who are you going to arrest? At 2 o'clock in the freaking morning that night, 2 o'clock in the morning, they went to the hospital. They forced the little girl to tell her what happened. I don't know how they did it. But when they did that, they arrested the mother and the father and they locked them up. And then I was called to come down because it was my case because she wasn't saying anything to me. She was blaming the foster mother, but she wasn't with the foster mother for like 6 months.
Right.
So then, I said, okay, I got to take my time with her. She's not in the home. The kids are removed. Everything is copacetic. But no, these MFers wanted a collar and they woke up the kid at 2 o'clock. They talked to this kid because the sergeant told them to, because they wanted to get the collar.
Who's this? What unit is this?
Patrol.
Oh, I think it was in the mid-late 90s.
Yeah.
Because I know they had like special victims, but didn't they also have like patrol special victims too?
No.
No,
I know.
No. They had
domestic violence.
I was in Manhattan sex crimes
Like
unit.
domestic violence cops, yeah.
We were in the Manhattan sex crimes unit. It wasn't called special victims yet. It was Manhattan sex crimes unit when we were in there back in 1987, 88. And we investigated all first-degree rapes and all child abuse cases on the 15. And that's how on the 14, first-degree rapes, that's all we did in the beginning. And then around maybe 89, after Lisa Steinberg, they started a child abuse team. I think, what year did you come to special victims, Sandy?
At 92.
All right, see, so after that, like in around 89, when I was there, they started the child abuse team. I was on Walter, Kathy, and there was a few people on the team. I didn't want to be on the team, but I got forced to be put on the team. I was so mad, but it was steady hours. I hated it so much because I like being going around the clock. I just didn't like it. But it was good, and it was, we were like the pioneers of the child abuse teams, And
well, you went to special victims when they did it, right? Or you were in sex crimes doing adult cases.
It was Manhattan sex crimes unit, but we were doing child abuse cases.
You started, okay, all right.
Our team,
I just want to say something about a lot of times, like you guys as detective investigators from Manhattan sex crimes, you would have a case with a lot of investigation done, and then patrol might come across it and jump on the arrest, but yet it calls for so much more investigation. I mean, when you think about it, and this isn't comparing apples to oranges, but for example, Dominic Strauss-Kahn, there's a case where they didn't have a case against him, but it was such a heavy-duty political case that they were ordered to arrest him anyway. And I believe the head of sex crimes in the Manhattan DA's office quit over that.
That's the French guy?
Lisa Friel, I think it was, right?
Was that
because she said, no, don't lock him up. And then the case wound up falling to shit because they didn't listen to her. It was so political. Remember, it turned out that the maid was trying to extort money from him.
Let me tell you one thing. There was cases like that. Like I remember a case that we had, and it was a young black girl. She lived in a what do you call that?
SRO?
A shelter, like in the 30s back then. In the 80s, there was a lot of shelters there. And this girl, there was a phone booth there, and a guy calls up and offers the girl a job. I think I may have told you this before. And he offers her a job, and she comes in, she goes out, she buys like a $10 store, gets herself a little skirt. Long story short, she goes to his office. This guy was inventing like stuff for the military, a lot of money. He worked in Rockefeller Center. She goes there, he rapes her, and he uses like a dildo. He uses certain things, and she reports it. And he told her before she left, "Who's gonna believe you over me?" And I believe it was, I think it was my case, or it wasn't my case. It was somebody else's case, but I assisted on the case. I went with her to Rockefeller Center. She showed me where the office was. Make a long story short, sure enough, they do a search warrant. They get him, they arrest him, they do a search warrant. Everything she said was there. But that was one case that I was so happy for her because nobody would have believed her. You know what I mean? Because it would have been money, you know, but it happened, you know, it happened. And that was a good case. And I forgot which the detective was.
Well, how many times did you get a prostitute rape case?
A few times.
And sometimes they're telling the truth, right?
Oh yeah. Sometimes
I think most victims tell the truth. The kids. Most of the kids.
Bad mouth the DA's office, but that's the DA's office stuff. You know, they're the ones who decide whether they're going to keep it or they're not going to keep it. You know, and I'm not saying anybody's names, but it's very political. A lot of times when I was in special victims, what cases they would take, what cases they wouldn't take. If it wasn't put in a nice little bowl, they didn't want it. So,
Exactly.
You know,
But you know, one of the things about
Lisa Friel was great. I always liked her very much.
But one of the things about special victims cases, and you'll hear this a lot, is that you know, a lot of times people don't believe the victim, and a lot of times the victims do lie, right?
Adults mostly. I had one or two kids.
Right. They make up a case of rape to cover up something else.
If they're having sex, a
Well,
lot.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. But you know, the social workers would say, "Oh, that never happens. It happens a lot, right?"
I'm gonna give you an example. This is like very embarrassing for me, but this is the God's honest truth. When I was about 15 years old, my father saw me talking to a boy on the street, beat the shit out of me. I had to run away from home that night. I had a black eye, you know, I had to run away from home, and that's the truth. And you know what they did? The next day when they got me back home, they made me go to the doctor to see if I was a virgin. It was so humiliating for me.
God.
So when I worked in sex crimes, I knew my mother still probably has a paper in her closet that says hymen is intact, whatever. I was like, so embarrassed. It was so embarrassing, humiliating. But when I was in sex crimes, you know how many Spanish young girls would come in and saying they got raped, and I get them in the room. I say, "Are they gonna take you to the doctor?" She'd say, "Yeah." "Do you having sex with your boyfriend?" "Yeah." So they knew they weren't virgins.
You know it, yeah.
So Hispanic thing that they did, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, they would take their daughters right to the doctors and see if you're a virgin. It was fucked up, but
right.
the doctors would do it.
You know, when you hear some of the stories these 15-year-old girls tell, like about being kidnapped, held hostage for the weekend. You know,
Okay, now,
and
yeah.
then, like, wait a minute. You know, there's a thing called video cameras. There's a thing called, you know, ATM,
The best is the
transit
wife
cards and metro cards.
No, when the wife has a boyfriend and she falls asleep in his house overnight, she's the one that gets kidnapped, you know, or has a boyfriend and she got kidnapped, you know, because
You know what happens a lot
They
too?
put a hood over her head. She comes into the, oh my God, I'm here. They dropped me off. I'm here.
Go
You
ahead.
know what happens a lot too is sometimes you go up and you start partying with a certain person in their apartment, and then somebody else comes over. Now it's the three of you partying, and next thing you know, it's like 6 dudes. I remember walking to get a bagel around the corner, and there was a girl in the projects. She was waving to me like this, so I was waving back to her. She's like, okay. So at that point right now, you realize, oh, maybe there's something there. So you got to figure out what apartment that is.
Oh, we got a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah, like she was there for the whole weekend. But
They locked her in.
the way it started out with, it was just going to be her and that guy smoking crack. And then all of a sudden his friend came over. So that was okay. Then another friend came over. And all right, how much what are we going to do for this crack? Before you know it, there's 6 dudes there.
Yeah.
And
They're
they just,
still doing that. They still do that.
Nasty.
In the foster care agency, like that I work in, they have, the girls are trafficked sometimes, you know, they are. You know, I mean, ACS has a pretty good AWOL unit that, you know, that works really good, and they kind of get the girls
I
back.
didn't know that, really.
It's a new
Okay.
yeah, they've been doing a good job because, I mean, as a private investigator, I can't do much. I can't do anything. Your hands are tied behind your back. I tell a kid, come with me. Why should they come with me? ACS has a AWOL unit. They're doing pretty good work. I have to give them a lot of credit.
Nice. Very nice. That's cool. I didn't know that.
How much human trafficking are you seeing in your travels?
That was my next question.
Who, for me?
Yeah.
And with the foster kids, a lot. There's a lot of them get trafficked. You know, like when the girls that run away, you know, I mean, the girls sell each other, you know, like in the foster care agencies, you know, I mean, human trafficking is not going to end, you know?
that was
No.
the thing in the Epstein video on Netflix, where how one girl would go and she would get her $200, and then he would tell her, if you can get some friends, and they would go back and they'd say, all you can do is give this guy a massage. And that girl would get $200 and she would get $200 for bringing that girl there. And the more you can get, the more money you would make. So the girls are like telling their friends to come over.
See,
Yeah.
and that's still going on. And you know who's big in the human trafficking also is the Bloods and the Crips. You notice you don't hear about them that much anymore?
No.
Because that's what they're doing. They're doing a lot of prostitution, you know, a lot of trafficking. You know, I'm pretty sure the feds know about it, you know, but I learned that just from the foster care system where I work, you know, when you talk to some of the kids.
How does it work?
Wow.
Well, you know what? I figure
that I know.
you're gonna you if you're hanging out and you're hanging out with some with a clique, and then all of a sudden they're telling you they're gonna put you down with the clique, and in order to get down, you know how like the boys got to get like a beat down to be part of the clique, and the girl has to pretty much do everybody.
And everybody.
Clique.
Yeah.
And then
Get the train.
once you're in the clique, you're not really in the clique. They just use you. They tell you you're in the clique, but they're basically telling you off.
That's right.
You know, one thing about sex crimes, you know, like a lot of the cases was so sad, but we used to joke about a lot of stuff. You had to joke, otherwise you go crazy.
And curse a lot. Curse a lot.
Yeah, there was a detective that worked in chief of detective's office when I was in sex crimes. I don't remember his name. I think his last name began with a T from what I think. He was a young guy, not a young detective. Like he had time on, but he was like probably a Vietnam vet back then, you know, nice looking guy. But let me tell you, I remember talking to him one night. He said that he had a sex crimes case that ruined him, you know, and he was working there because it's different. Like now we're so more exposed to it because of the internet. You hear more about this stuff, but back then you didn't hear it. You would see 8mm films, you would see pictures, but now it's different, you know. But he said it ruined him, and then that's why he was working the chief of D. It could ruin you, right, Sandy?
Yeah, it could. It could. I have 9 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, and I was there for almost all of them to help raise them. I questioned them. They said hello to somebody. Who's that person? Who sat next to you on the bus? How was school? Did you go to bathroom? Was anybody bothering you there? And now I have my 7 and 9-year-old great-grandchildren who, you know, they're off from school, so they're here with me. I'm homeschooling them. Oh my God, I just want to pull my hair out.
You gotta worry about the older kids too. Like, you know, this weekend I heard that, you know, my daughter was out with her friends and she goes into a bathroom and one of her friends notices a guy that was eyeballing her, and my daughter goes into the bathroom. Guess what? The guy went into the bathroom and her friend noticed it. And when she went into the bathroom, the guy's standing by the sink. And her friend goes, "What are you doing in here?" He goes, "I'm washing my hands." She goes, "This is the men's bathroom." What was he gonna do to my daughter? Oh my God, that makes me so angry.
See,
He was just waiting to see. Yeah, he was waiting to see if anybody saw him go in.
If you report that, now you become a problem because you're supposed to use any bathroom and you're supposed to be able to go in this world. But if you go report that, all of a sudden you become like a Karen, no matter who you are.
Yeah, you know, something.
The male in the female
bathroom. Trust me, I would love to.
Irma, call me. I have some aggressions in me. I need to get out. So we're cool.
I stick my foot up that guy's ass. I'm telling you, that makes me so. It's like I can't help it. The thought of anybody trying to hurt my kid, especially my daughter, like
it just gets you crazy. Yeah.
You know what? I just thought of a movie right now. What? I thought of you two girls going out just to get lunch. And to kind of reunite, and you know, just because you were friends, you worked as cops, and then all of a sudden something pops off, and the two of you are back in action.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, but Sandy gotta be able to
run. You see, I'm the type of person now that I just calm down because that's, you know, you could get a lot of stuff done that way. But if you're gonna release the lying in me, there's no coming back from that. I'm telling you, it's really quick. So I could think of ways to hurt people without us even being found out that we did it. You know, if you're gonna rape this girl, walk around, I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna take your testicle.
I always think about ways to hurt somebody, but without, you know, not just being like the violence that, you know, like for example,
not too much blood. No, not too much.
Like for example, when you pulled somebody over. Right? And they were like, what the fuck did you pull me over for? And in your head, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, you had a headlight out. And they're like, yeah, but this is bullshit. Okay, just let me see your summons. And every single time they cursed or they said something bad, you're saying, that's another one. That's another one. Then you get back in your car and you hand them 7 summonses. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good night. Because the smart cop would always pay you back in paper.
Exactly. That's revenge. The pen.
You know, what's
Absolutely.
crazy, our office, 3280 Broadway used to be right across the hall from Special Victims. And sometimes I would just listen to you guys talk. And the crazy shit you talked about. And I used to, and as a boss, you think about OEEO and that thing where, like, if someone is offended by what you're talking about, they can actually file. And I used to say, how can special victims detectives do their job if they can't talk to each other about what they're
Exactly.
investigating? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
we
if
used to abuse the detectives, the male detectives there. I mean, kind of verbally abuse them here and there. I mean, they were scared of us. They were mature and they were scared of us because they knew you better treat us right. Because if you don't treat us right, guess what? We're not going to interpret for you in Spanish. We're not going to help you out on the case. And we're not going to help you talk to your victim or the perp. So you know what? Kneel, bitch.
You know what was fun in Special Victims? Remember Hank Karaszewski? I'm gonna tell you a story one time.
Oh my God!
One time, there was a girl named Karen Sims, and one time Hank Karaszewski, they worked with us. He was a real good guy, Hank. You know, he's a real
Sweetheart, yes.
And so Hank, it comes by my desk, and he goes, "Oh, whose grapes are these?" I go, "Oh, they're mine. You want some? You can eat them." So he starts eating the grapes and stuff. I get a picture of him. He's eating the grapes.
You gave him up to Karen. He's eating your grapes.
And then Karen comes in. She goes, "Who the fuck ate my grapes?" I go, "Hank, look, he's a picture." So we used to do a lot of pranks in the office, like Steve Vallow. He used to work in Catch. You know, remember Steve
I
Vallow?
know who
Oh
he
my
was, yeah.
God.
He's a great guy too. Yeah, he was a little bit out there, but
He was a half an
liked him.
EDP or a whole EDP.
It's okay, but you know something? Even though he was an EDP, I always respected him. I always was nice to him.
Yeah.
I used to play pranks on him. So I used to always.
He used to love to come to our office so we could
He
get
used
with him.
He used to look for me that I can bother him. So one day I'm walking down the hall. I used to see him. I used to go, "Steve, your zipper's open." And he looked down. I used to go, "Steve, your zipper's open." Every time I walked by him. So one day I go, "Steve, your zipper's open." He goes, "Stop telling me my zipper's open." And that's when the fax machines first came out. So I go to my office and I write, we had a fax machine. I write, "Someone in your office's zipper's open." I fax it to his office. And I watch him come into my office going, "Where the fuck is she? Where the hell is she?"
No, he used to come in like this. Steve Battle. Who did this?
I got a
With
picture
Irma.
of him. But he was a good guy. I don't care what
He was. I
I don't know if he's
know.
alive. I've been meaning to call him. I have a picture of him here, as a matter of fact. I can go
Yeah,
get
he
it.
used to run Catch after a while.
Yes.
He used
Yes.
to all the McDonald toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were great. Those were great, like the pranks that you play on people.
I love pranks.
I worked with a female detective, and she was telling us how she had a squirrel in her attic, and she was asking around how she could take care of this problem. You know, like how she could, you know, like. So then all of a sudden, I created this. I found it on Google, a picture of like squirrels in attics, and help me. She's trying to kill me, and I put it I hung it up in the. I put it in her desk in between her cases. She would open up a case and there would be a picture of a squirrel everywhere she went, and that's just the kind of stuff you did.
It's so and that's one thing. Like right now, society. I think the kids now are so freaking spoiled and sensitive. Like my kids are not like that because people used to always tell me, "You're gonna make your kids crazy the way you're raising them."
Yeah,
But my kids are so good.
absolutely.
They can take a lot of abuse. They're not like everybody else. They're not like they don't go with the program. You know,
How did you raise them? What did you
they
do?
don't judge anybody. I was a bit mean to them, but I don't care. You know, when you hear me,
Remember Griselle Ortiz? She had a lot of dolls on her desk. I guess because she was used to invest kids, and you know the kids used to come and play with the dolls. One day, me and somebody else, I think it was you, I don't know. We used to take string, tie the doll's neck in the string, and hang them up.
my brother used to do that to me when I was a kid.
She
That's
lost it
true.
one day.
That-
Oh my
You
that's
know
God.
what the worst is? Everyone falls asleep at one time or another, and all the times people would take Polaroids of you, like, right?
Yeah,
With your
yeah.
mouth
I
open.
seen those and you with you guys. Absolutely.
The anatomically correct dolls.
That picture, that tying the string around the babies, nobody would ever understand that.
We had like 10 of them hung up.
The news or on public, you'd be a savage.
But you know something? Well, why? I mean, that's the way we grew
But
up.
I'm just saying, in the day-to-day minutia of working in a squad room, that's funny. And you wind up having this type of sense of humor. Like I remember, you know, I had a picture of I had a DOA once. The guy was he died in his living room. something happened where his balls swelled up.
They always do sometimes.
Like
Yeah.
I'm talking about the size of each was like a beach ball, just with gas.
Oh my
Of
God.
course, when you get there, you have to take pictures of the deceased. For
No,
your
you
kids.
didn't.
But where did you leave that picture? The good ones.
Bored.
Like you put the thumbtack right in your little chalk that board that you had.
Well, you must have
Book
Yeah.
board.
You left it right on your desk.
Yeah.
The big
Oh,
ball guy.
yeah.
The funniest thing in the 2-3 squad, that was one of the best squads I was ever in. And someone put a pair of like cowboy boots with the heels facing upward, as if the guy was kneeling down, and a sign said, "This is how you get grade in the 2-3 squad." It was by the lieutenant's desk,
That's a good one. That's good. Yes.
It was fucking hilarious,
That was awful.
But
I'll tell
today,
you,
someone would probably say, "Get IAD in here, report
I'll
this."
tell you, I'm gonna tell you another real disgusting story that if anybody did that to anybody this day and age, I can't imagine what would happen to them. When I was in special victims, we all shared a locker room, like male, female. We didn't care who was changing. It didn't make a difference. We were like brothers and sisters. We kind of were very tight and stuff. And one time I remember going out with John Savino and like going out after court. All of us went out to that ale house on by Court, where it was. What's that place called by Court? That bar that used to be by the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, it was at the corner. Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeremy.
Right.
And I'm a beer drinker, but
Jeremy, right.
And we took the train back. When I get back, it was raining. I lost all my shit. I get back, and now the weekend is like a Friday or Saturday. So I leave. I go on a swing. When I come back, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. They have my stockings hanging over my locker on a thing, and it has a sign that says "Scratch and Sniff." And they had that hanging on my locker. And back then, it's like you just chuck it up, you laugh. I'm embarrassed, but you didn't do anything about it. Now, forget it. Oh my God, I could have sued the whole police department. I would have had plenty of stockings.
There was a guy in our unit, Patty Purcell. You were gone, Irma. And Patty was so funny, and he was so sweet. And one day, me and Grizel got together. We got some hot wax, like the women use for their legs. We got some hot wax. We distracted him, and we got his whole arm full of wax.
Oh,
and we tried to rip it off. He wouldn't let us a little. Oh, strong that guy is. And we tried to rip it off. We tried to throw him down. He wouldn't let us.
Yeah, and sex crimes
That's painful.
What's funny is that in where I worked, we had a separate room where the females changed, but for some reason I was sleeping in their side. There was no females working. But whoever the females that were there they used to put their shoes on the bed. So they would be in boxes, and there was other female clothes. And then for some reason, either the bunks were taken on the male side or this place was more comfortable. Nobody was going to walk in, but I'm sleeping there. And then somebody came in and took a picture, and all of a sudden you see me, and I'm sleeping right next to like 4 boxes of open female shoes. And then like a chiffon behind my head. And yeah.
I didn't put a bra on you. Oh my God.
So let me say one other thing about sex crimes. One of the worst things that I ever experienced in sex crimes, and this is important for like anybody who's listening who has young kids, like there was 2 things. Like if a couple, and I tell my kids this too, if you're in a park with your girlfriend hanging out or whatever, you got to be careful, because here comes a group of 4 guys. And what do? They hold the girl down, they rape the girl, they hold the guy, and they all take turns raping the girl. I mean, that happened. Another thing that happened when we were special victims, the guys that used to climb into the fire escape in the middle of the night and come into a family's home, put the husband on the bottom, the wife on top, and rape the wife. The brownstone rapist did that. I mean, imagine you're sleeping and here comes some stranger into your house, so.
Right.
Special
Well,
victims.
they had that silver gun rapist in the 19th back.
He got caught.
He never got caught?
Oh, the one that John Savino was working on, and John
Yeah.
Bava. Yeah, that guy never got caught for some reason,
How about the East Side rapist?
DNA?
Not caught either, right?
No, that's why I really believe that the medical examiner's office should always when anybody dies, they should DNA everybody and put them through the bank, because you never know if any of those perps that die off something else,
That's a
might be
good
bank
idea.
might solve a case, I mean, I think nobody, because they don't do it, but I think everybody's DNA should go into the bank once you're dead.
Every single how would you do that?
easy because when you do a autopsy, you can just swap them. And
How many hundreds of people die in this city every day?
Doesn't matter. I mean, they take tissue samples from everybody who's autopsied, you know.
But Irma, I think that's like a civil rights thing.
I know that's the problem, but
You
I
need
was
the family's permission.
I was
Yeah.
that
Oh,
guy
you're
could
dead. We're
die
gonna take your
from
DNA. You have no rights anymore. We're gonna throw it into the genealogy database. You
Yeah.
might be the Gilgo Beach killer, you know?
Hey, did you see that Golden State Killer case? That was great what they do with the DNA.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, let
DNA.
me ask you guys something, because you guys deal with this. Didn't they used to call those cases cold DNA hits, where you would get a hit of someone who was in prison, and it could
That was, yeah.
I was gone
Yeah.
by then.
We talked
Eddie used to
about
work that. Eddie Tacky and the other guy, I forgot his name.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
we talked about how brilliant it was for the DA's office or whoever came up with the idea of indicting the DNA.
Arthur Bashford. I think it was Arthur Bashford. I think
That
she
was brilliant. So because the statute of limitations then wouldn't attach, right?
He was a pretty good DA. I think Martha and Lisa came up with that. I think with
What a great idea that was, you know?
yeah.
I remember that, but I
Did
forgot
you
what.
ever do a cold case, go to a prison and let someone know that they were not going home? They was, you know, because they were caught for another rape.
On some cases, I think
Sandy, did you ever do that?
No, I did only children, and that was it.
Oh, so this was Taki and
Al Sandomir.
that was definitely done. Yeah, because Al Sandomir, yeah, they did a lot of good cases with that.
As a matter of fact, I had a case. It's my very first sex crimes case that I was allowed to work alone. It was New Year's Day. And it was the guy in the 3-4 that used to go around, crumbs, saying that he was, the super. And that's how they let him in. So New Year's Day, this girl was talking to her mother in Santo Domingo. She had a 3-year-old little girl. She let him in because they were having problems. And he raped her. And they put her DNA, they went under, a grand jury, blah, blah, blah. And they came up a hit 5 years later. And what happened that they couldn't get a hold of him? They couldn't, because when they did arrest him, they never put down the tattoos that he had. Never. What the frick are you doing?
right on the scars, marks, and tattoos. That box is there for a reason, right?
Right. He had a
When you're on
specific
patrol
tattoo.
too, you didn't understand back in the day why it was very advantageous for future investigations
Right.
you to let a perp make the 3 phone calls, right?
Yeah, you're right. Right, those 3 phone calls. I always used to write those numbers down because I was in warrants first. So when I was in warrants, I knew I knew how important. That's why warrants is important, because you're always going after the person. It's kind of sort of what you do after you did the whole investigation. You're just coming.
That's right.
You just learn how to catch people. So what's important. Apartment numbers are important. Finding out who this guy is important. Who's that guy?
You have to put accurate. She's crazy.
Is that your kid? Who's doing that?
That's Irma.
No, but
Was
that's
that some special victims detective from the past was coming in?
How'd you do that with your toe?
Oh my God, it's so funny. It's this toy.
Yeah, but how did it get in the screen there?
She put it there. She's playing with it.
Oh, there you go. That's funny. Okay, look, I'm gonna do mine. You ready?
Go ahead. I'll tell you one thing. One thing I do miss, Sandy, I miss laughing. First of all, I got to tell you guys one thing. I went to visit Sandy in her house when she moved all the way upstate. I won't tell you where it is, but it's pretty far up. And I remember saying to I think I was with my husband then, right, with Billy. I think my Billy and my kids went with me. And I go,
yeah.
Wow, look at this nice big park that Sandy has next to her house. It was her lawn. It was humongous. A beautiful.
Take her out of the Lower East Side, but
oh my God, take me out.
Oh my, a step up from the projects. Let me tell you.
God, I was like, holy
wow.
What a nice.
How does that feel?
And a beautiful kitchen.
It's in Orange County, upstate New York, 40 minutes from the Woodbury Commons.
Don't tell them where it's at because people are listening,
But how does it feel?
I got guns, I got cameras, no worries.
How does it feel to have a house like that?
Unbelievable. All my grandchildren,
so big.
They came here, I babysat them. I got a rainbow, playground. I have a pool. I mean, listen, you're talking to a chick who lived in the projects all her life, who got her windshield wipers stolen, her battery at least once a year stolen. It's unbelievable.
For me,
There
like
is,
the
if you work
freshman-
hard for it, you can have it. I don't want to hear this bullshit.
You know,
But because, I'm oppressed. Bullshit.
You know what's funny? I live in Westchester too, and my wife is always opening doors. And
He has a pool too.
And I'm like always paranoid. I'm always locking them. It's hot out. Leave that door. I'm like, I think of like home invasion and shit.
Yeah, I have a terrace. A terrace is nice. You can leave it open. No one's gonna climb in.
That's right.
So,
Also, you think.
know,
Like
right?
Spider-Man. Remember Spider-Man?
Yeah, we've seen it happen. How about in the
That's right,
How about that homicide in the 7th precinct when the guy came in through the window? Thank God he got caught. Imagine there'd still be a task force.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, he got away.
Now you're getting me. Now I'm remembering a lot of stuff I don't want to remember.
Yeah, that's not bad. Like I've done a couple of TV things. I'm not gonna do no more TV stuff, by the way. I'm only doing this stuff. But when you do the TV stuff and they open up those doors again about the sex crimes, I mean, too much shit comes in, and it's depressing, man. I remember driving home so many times over a little kid that broke your heart, right, Sandy? I mean, the shaken baby cases, just the little kids being raped, the thought about, and right now, I mean, I don't want to think about it because then I'll think about it too much. The thought right now in my head, this freaking de Blasio having all the schools closed, how many kids are being abused? How many kids are being the victims of abuse right now for almost a whole year, with the abuse in the home? And that just drives me crazy and it bothers me. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of fucked up kids in a little while when it all comes out.
That's right. That's right.
Well, even just think about right now, it's been 7 months, going on 8 months, we've been sort of locked down. Think of the psychological problems, not just for those kids, everybody.
Families.
Not having human contact, the way we used to,
I mean, I still go outside every day. I walk, there's a few friends.
I know you do, yeah.
But
you went to the city all the time.
You don't give hugs anymore.
I work with Joan.
No more hugs.
Joan? Huh? What was
There's
that?
No more hugs.
Oh, nobody hugs me anyway in my house. And all that, so it doesn't matter.
There's a stop sign on us. Stay back. She's like a fireman. Stay back 500 feet.
My daughter only hugs me if she wants money, and she's not getting any more money from me. So I'm not getting
Oh my gosh. How's she doing in school, your daughter? She's adjusting?
She's lazy. So let's see what happens, but I'm not taking care of anybody ever again in my life,
You're like Cuomo. He sent that state trooper to Canada for dating his
saw
daughter.
Abuse of power. Oh my gosh.
Hey, let me tell you something, bro.
What's
There's no quicker way than getting a casual dating situation into those two getting eloped and being married because you're an overbearing father.
That's probably what's going to happen. They'll probably marry him.
They're just dating.
Dad, I'm moving to Canada.
Unbelievable.
He hates cops. See, he hates cops.
He does.
Hooked up with a cop.
Yep.
But he lied really well. He lied really good.
I used to like him. I
did too. I believed him. Who would?
Until you know what's funny? The TV exposure actually worked against him. In the beginning, he had everybody in the palm of his hand, and then he realized, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Yes, he's selfish.
He's a liar. That's why, because he's such a liar.
Well, because
from the nursing homes, definitely.
Yeah.
All men are liars. What do you expect?
Hey, come on, take it easy there.
Hey,
my husband can't lie. He looks at me and he goes.
He interrogates the shit out of her husband. That's why. She's using some of those victim skills on her husband.
I said I have to go first because if you go first, then I'm done. I can't be with anybody. Nobody's gonna be able to put up with me. I am. Oh no! Oof. My husband's 77, so I said, don't leave yet.
I think people need to be by that. I think this whole Corona thing is good. You learn how to be by yourself a lot. Like I like being by myself.
Yeah. I do too. I don't have to talk to anybody for hours. I'm good.
I mean, no one wants to talk to me anyway. So
for my daily stuff, going to and fro, after having kids and raising, and I enjoy doing most of my things I enjoy doing by myself. I don't have to wait for somebody else to just do it. But when you're going to go away, you need a companion. If you're going to, spend the weekend, you need somebody that's when comes in handy.
I'm going away with my friends pretty soon for the first time in a long time. Hopefully it goes through. There's a 4th vacation we had to cancel. But
I've been away on vacation by myself. I went to Spain by myself.
Yeah.
With a
We
tour
go to
group, I went to
Florida,
Spain.
Sandy. We should go down to Florida and see Nelson and them. I spoke to them
We
the other
should.
day.
A
Yeah.
weekend. Make it a long weekend.
Yeah, I can go in the middle of the week and then meet you down there.
That's fine. You
Yeah,
tell
see
me
my
when and
sister.
we'll hook up. Yeah. I'll
You
get
have
a
to
place for
quarantine
us.
for 14 days when you come
I
back.
don't care. I don't care about. I could be. I already have the
That's
corona.
not true. That's not true. You
I
don't
will-
have to quarantine anymore.
Huh?
No,
You don't
no more
have to
when you come back
quarantine
to
anymore.
Florida.
You have to take a
Oh,
test.
okay.
When you get back, you have to take a test.
And when you go,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna
If
quarantine.
you're going to travel abroad, you have to take a test before. When you come back, there's no more quarantine. You just have to take a test.
McLean
Okay, that's
Avenue.
cool.
Or it's a 3-day quarantine.
Listen, on McLean
Oh.
Avenue, you can take a 15-minute test for $25.
Where?
McLean Avenue in the Bronx.
Yonkers? Oh,
I love that. That's
Oh.
fucking great. That is fucking great. The fact that there's some places you could go and there's like a dude standing outside. Yo, I got COVID test for $25. 1 hour.
It's not toilet paper, it's a COVID test, right?
And then you got somebody else across the, yo, I got COVID test, $14. 1 hour, 25 minutes.
Fuck that. I got the vaccine for 15.
You need it for the
Oh my
plane. When you get on a plane, you got to show that you had the test.
Mhm.
You know.
Ah, okay.
So
I had to take it twice because I had a procedure done, and they never called me. They said they'll call you when it's
did you get it?
positive. I said,
Did you get it?
Yeah, I had the one where they stick the thing up your nose into your brain.
oh, why? No.
No, that was how they first tested you.
And when Billy
Oh,
was in the
yeah.
hos-
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
when Billy was in the hospital, we had to take a test once a week. It was like a lot. We took so many tests for once a week. We had to take tests. You know. So,
Ah.
No,
Yeah, I had
no one
so-
would
I
ever
had
know
so many-
that now from what we're talking about, that this is about special victims. You guys want to talk about a case? instead of COVID test?
whose dog is that?
I had him in my lap. That was Gunny. He's a pug. I have 3 pugs.
All right. So any more sex crimes questions here, Sandy?
Nope, I'm good. I'm worn out. I'm bored.
He's like, Mom, I gave you an hour. You said we were going to do
That's
an
it.
hour.
I'm bored.
I'm ready
I'm
to
going
get
on to
back to
something else.
business.
You're not amusing me anymore.
Have a drink.
So before we go, why don't we do some predictions? Did everybody vote here?
Oh, yes. First of all, one of my biggest predictions is that I think that the media is really exaggerating all this boarding up the stores. They purposely making people want to fight in case the election goes the wrong way, because all these people are such sore losers. If Trump wins, great. If Biden wins, great. But whoever wins, why does one person have to be angry if the other person wins?
Mm-hmm.
Because our
That's
society now, all our young people are such wimps that they all have to have it their way. Think about your kids playing sports. Every kid gets a fucking trophy. When that started, I see my kids. I go, why is everybody getting a trophy? The winner should get a trophy. Not every kid on the team should get a trophy. I'm sorry.
Right. Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think they should
If
make
Trump wins, I
millennials-
could see things going really bad. They're
they should
really
make
bad.
them all
I
go
mean,
into the service for 2 years, right out of high school, like Israel, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then these kids wouldn't be little punk fuckers like they are.
Idle hands.
They should do that mandatory like they do in Israel.
2
It's
years-
you go to the army, you go to the
2
military.
years in the army or 3 years in the Marine Corps.
that, you know what? It makes a man out of you.
That would
I
solve
love
all our
Marines,
nation's
former
problems,
Marines.
you know?
And women.
Former
and-
Marines know how to do laundry. They can clean. They can cook. They can wash dishes. My husband is a former Marine. He washes my laundry. I'm tired. He washes all the laundry. He
I
folds
don't
it,
know.
puts it in the
I
drawer.
don't know.
Pretty little woman ain't got no soul. Sound off. 1, 2, 1, 2.
There should be something. There should be something after high school. You shouldn't be
They
allowed.
should. You don't want to work? Go to military.
Yeah, if
That's
you're not
right.
going to go to college, you should you should serve your country. But there has to be something. It's that idle time between you think you know everything about the world and you don't really know shit, where you get in trouble. And it can fuck up the rest of your life just because during those 2 or 3 years, you didn't really know what to do. So that's why I think we got to keep these kids occupied, man.
Sandy, you disappeared.
You know, it's funny too, is like when people ask you like who you voted for or who you're going to vote for. And I go, hey, I'm a law and order type of guy. What do they tell you? They go, oh, you're a Trump guy. Why? Because I said that I'm a law and order person? Who isn't a law and order person? What kind of fucking person is floating around here and wanting criminals to steal their shit, and
Criminals are good now and cops are bad.
it's fucking insane.
Criminals
Stupidity.
deserve the
You're willing
benefit
to
of the
sit,
doubt.
you're willing to
Cops don't.
sacrifice your family just because you hate this individual. That's listen. There's nobody voting for Biden. They're just voting because they hate Trump. Because what could you vote for? What could you vote for Biden for? What is there to vote for? The guy can't put two words together. He doesn't have anything that you ask him of importance. He doesn't want to answer. So
you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen is they're going to make him. They're going to say that he's unable to be fit for.
well, yeah, but that's what they want. They want Kamala because Kamala, they both can manipulate him, the left. But Kamala, she's just basically going to go, what did you say I should do? Okay, this is what I'm going to, what did you say? Okay, this is what I'm going to do.
And you know what Black Americans should realize, and I'm not being racist or nothing, but Jamaicans do not like Black Americans. So I don't care. You know, a lot of Caribbean Blacks do not like Black Americans. So I'm pretty sure that whatever her name is hasn't had too many real Black friends. Maybe now she.
It's amazing the way they try to sell her off. But anyway, that's
hard. I don't think she even knows she even knows she's Black. I think she's full of shit.
we're already at the hour, and we lost Sandy. So why don't we just wrap it up? Sandy had enough. I think we had an incredible episode this week. You girls were on fire. I swear to God, I just sat back and listened. I loved every single moment of it. God bless you, man. God bless you for doing that. You did. I have story shit in my head. Bill does too, but the two of you together, what you had to deal with, and what you continue to live with, those thoughts, the stuff that you've seen. God bless you. So, Bill, go and vote tomorrow.
Yeah,
I voted already. I voted already.
Yeah, I voted
where I live, there shouldn't be.
I voted.
Me
too.
Look at that. There's so much indoctrination about voting. They don't really mean vote. They just mean vote.
Well, they I don't know why anybody just like, I always tell people like in the building I work in, I says, oh, on the election day, what I like to do is I rent a van and I get the old people from the nursing home and I bring them, so they can vote. And all the old people, the people that I tell this to, they're all excited. Oh, really? Yeah. I get all the Republican old people out and I bring them to vote. And they're like, what?
I get all the World War II veterans.
Yeah.
All the Medal of Honor winners, I take them to vote.
I got a big Trump van that I rent. It's the whole thing. All right, so that's it.
We gotta plug something, man. You can't just sign out.
No. What do you want to plug? I was going to say.
I want to plug our Patreon. We have 32 people pay to see us.
That's it?
Yeah, well, we're trying to build it up. I can't get these cops to let go of a nickel because they hate a nickel's a dime. They hate a nickel because it ain't a dime. But we have 3 tiers of our Patreon, and our Patreon customers get programming that we don't give to everyone else. So the first tier is the bucket, because you deserve to be called a bucket if you only spend $7 to see us a month. The second tier is Polish My Rack. And the third tier, the premier tier that everyone loves, is
That's a stupid name.
dipped in butter. And you know what we want dipped in butter. And it feels good, it's warm. And that costs $11. And that's our premier level. And I just did a 3-part series with Barbara Butcher on the Gilgo Beach serial killer. And I think it was some of her and my best work so far. And I just interviewed again Mike Heinrichs, one of the most highly decorated detectives in the history of New York City Police Department in regards to anti-crime, the disbanding of anti-crime, what he did in anti-crime in the 6-7, what he did in RIP, and then his whole police career. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. Mark is doing one-on-one with a new guest every 2 weeks, I think it is. And
I got Bob Landich. I'm doing Bob and Landich. He's a film producer. He's a retired member of the service. He was also in the movie
The Irishman.
The Irishman, and he's an actor. He's a really good guy, very smart. He's written a couple of books.
I'm in his new movie.
You're in Mladenich's new movie?
Oh, Mud Haven. He has a movie. It's called Mud Haven. I'm in it.
Well, he's got there's 2 of them. And I know I saw you in there. She doesn't talk a lot, but she does talk a lot, but she doesn't tell you a lot, like all the other stuff that she's doing. You know what I'm saying? She keeps a lot of stuff quiet.
He's always getting called by the TV people,
Yeah, for somebody who talks a lot, you don't say too much. I'm just kidding.
But I don't talk a lot of personal stuff.
You say you talk a lot, but then you find out shit that you didn't know. Really? Oh, look, she didn't tell me she was in it. I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, how come you never told me you were in the movie? I talk to you all the time. You never told me you were in the movie.
I just
So
don't-
weird. How weird is that?
I know. Yeah, but we talk
All
on
right.
the
Thank
show.
you, Irma, for coming on.
It's on the show, so it's not like I talk about myself.
No, you were great. You were great tonight. You were always great. It's a pleasure having
Did
you.
you see the whole movie?
Sandy. What?
Did you see the whole movie? Is it out? I haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah, you could see it. It's on a bunch of different things.
Oh, okay, I'd watch it. All right, good to know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. They did a good job with it. It's very, very pretty. It's very nicely shot.
Oh, good.
They did a good job with it. He's an excellent guy. He's gonna be my next guest. I just had Eddie Malia. He posed in Playgirl. He was a cop. I grew up with him, and that's a great episode. Timmy Hall. I have a bunch of them. But on that note,
All right, guys.
let's just say thank you to Irma. Thank you, Sandy. I know you checked out. You had to take the dog for a walk now on your estate there.
She
And
was so upset over all these special victim stories. She had to leave.
no, you could tell when the dog was done, she had to go.
Oh, right now she's dancing by the Santeria statue. She's lighting candles, dancing. You know.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Bye, Mark. Any comedy
have a good
shows,
night.
let me know.
We're going to take a break, by the way. We're going to be back in 2 weeks because I'm going to Aruba. So,
Oh, I love
There's
it.
no show this Thursday. There's no show till I think Monday, maybe the 19th.
yeah, when I come back.
Mark, when you go to Aruba, take a cab and go to the local restaurant. The food on the local side is so good,
Okay, I'll do that.
right? Have fun.
All right. I'll talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you very much for watching.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.